Good idea. Good idea.
Hi,
Anne Reese is in the chat. Hello.
Morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Long time no see on this channel, but we decided we would show ourselves. These are my friends. Up at the top here, we have Brett. You all know Brett.
Point in the right direction. Still wrong. That's better.
Yeah. Brady Bunch. That's the one, Steve.
Down here, we have Deb from Australia.
Let's see if she gets Julie right.
This is going to be difficult. Down here.
No, the other one.
Down here.
No, turn your finger the other way. No.
The other one. Over.
That's the one.
Yay!
It's Julie. And she also is from down under in Australia.
Hi, guys.
Great to see you, folks. And the thing is, we all have been on each other's channels as well, doing podcasts, and it's been absolutely fantastic the last while. And it's a great uplifting thing to have people with the same interest talking together and that. So yeah, I thought rather than being dormant, I thought I'd add to the mix. Even though
how are you dumb? I'm going to bitch slap you, baby.
No, she said dormant, not dumb.
Oh, sorry. I'll just bitch slap myself.
Oh, I thought we would just add ourselves to the mix, add this channel to the mix and give it a go, because I've shied away from lies for the last while and just basically doing my sessions every morning while I'm having my cup of coffee. This time in the morning, doing sessions and then putting them up on my other channel. And every morning it's the same thing. Do a session, put it up. Do a session, put it up. Yeah. That other channel is a big, long experiment. A big, long ghost box experiment. And there's over 50, 60, 70 videos there. And it's filled up.
It's building up well now.
It's filled up till It's filled up till October, actually. That's how much videos that are in. Every 2 or 3 days there's a video there. Mm-hmm. So
that's because we're imprisoned over here, Sam. That's why.
Yeah, but do you know what? A lot of my filming was in Ireland, across the border, which is just a couple of 100 yards down the road. Mm-hmm. And the Gardaí were even more stricter than the police here.
Yeah.
Oh.
I just couldn't cross. And all my filming was all in the south of Ireland. And it's all sort of lifted now. So that's how I was able to get out last week and see the beach and stuff like that. And it was paradise.
Are they letting people across unobstructed now? Are they just letting you go through?
They're not even on the border. Do you know?
Oh, that's okay then, yeah.
You see, there is a little bit of a kind of a touchy situation about physical borders and Brexit and stuff. So they're not even there keeping an eye. They just left. Do you know? Yeah. But in lockdown, trying to get through it was pretty difficult, you know. Unless you were an emergency worker and needed to work across the border, you weren't going to get across. So I didn't see the other side of the border for such a long time, and to get back last week and walk along the beach, unbelievable, you know. Mm-hmm. And in fact, the public beaches had big concrete bollards to stop people and fencing to stop people going on the beaches. And the Gardaí, the police, the Irish police, were walking up and down the beaches.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Telling people to go home.
You've got quite a lot of haunted places just over the border from you in Ireland, haven't you? But you couldn't get to while all this was going on.
Yeah, I'm more knowledgeable about Donegal and around that area than I am actually where I am. Yeah. Do you know? So and you know, we had liftings and small bits of lifting of restrictions and that, but my health wasn't able to do it. My mind was there going, let's get back to business, and that my health wasn't great. But it's starting to get better and that, and I reckon we're going to be out pretty shortly in that. But it's not going to be your typical ghost hunt. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to go to nice scenic places.
Yeah.
And the emphasis is on the scenic places, and then do our bits and pieces as well. So we're trying to incorporate both sort of thing.
Yeah.
We're trying to think outside the box. But you see, the thing is, a lot of the ghost hunters, they run off the script of the TV show.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Do you know where the TV show? I think, when I was just thinking about TV shows, I know it'd be very expensive, but it'd be more authentic if they went to a location and done a bit of filming at the location, and then come back 6 months later and 8 months later and so on, and have that in one episode. But that would cost a fortune for the filming companies.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know, if they're traveling far away? That would be, I would be more impressed with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Rather than making it look like they were there in one night. Do you know? Nick Groff had the idea of the folding beds and stuff like that. But I'm not going to say anything about Nick.
Yeah. See, it's interesting, but a lot of paranormal teams don't do much stuff around the coast. And if you think of the loss of life that goes on around the coast of the UK, and some of the famous shipwrecks and stuff like that, you'd think a lot more teams would start doing it, because, it's probably interesting what you'll pick up connected to the loss of life at sea itself around the coasts. So, you may start getting some really interesting stuff coming through your spirit boxes once you start working on the coast.
Very true.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. There is one area up at the north of Donegal, and it's one of the most beautiful scenic places in Donegal, in Ireland. And that is littered with shipwrecks,
Oh.
And there is a story that a similar ship to the Titanic, one of the sister ships, I don't know if it's run by the same company, sank. I think so. It was a ship that sank off the coast, and it was full of gold and stuff. Whether that was a myth or not, I don't know. I've seen information up on the wall in a coffee shop down at Dunry Fort, actually.
I know the twin ship to the Titanic, was it called the Olympic or the Olympus? It was one or the other, and that sank as well. And there's a lot of rumors flying around that the Titanic wasn't actually the Titanic, that it was actually the Olympic or the Olympus, whichever one it was called.
Yeah, because the stacks and that were different.
Something to do with the stacks, The stacks were different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they've had that new more SOS equipment, which many ships didn't have. So it was difficult for them to pick up the message. But I'd like to segue back into what you were just talking about with the gold. It's a well-known fact that during World War II, there were private ships and companies trying to transport gold between Canada and Britain so that Britain would have money to rebuild after the war. It's in all of Churchill's biography books. So having gold on board a ship at that period of time is not unusual.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's silver, there was food, ships with produce from America and Canada and other countries trying to get through the U-boat lines to get supplies to England so that the people wouldn't starve, that was sunk. And who knows what was on those boats, really.
Yeah, there is a tragic case, and it happened in my lifetime. And I knew the people, and I actually was on their boat, but it was a fishing trawler in Greencastle. And the trawler never came back. It went out to fishing one day. It never came back. There was young people working on that fishing boat, and their families still don't have closure. And with all the equipment we have nowadays, it's amazing. The boat was never found. Now, it wasn't a huge boat, but in our scale of things, these fishing trawlers are about the size of a house. They're massive. They're big, big boats. And it's just mind blowing that a boat that size, even though in the grand scheme of things, it's a small boat, but it was never recovered. And the family still never have had closure. And one of the problems around the area is that there's so many shipwrecks and boat wrecks that they sink into the sand and they just disappear with all the clutter that's down there.
Yeah. So you've also got linked to the coast is the smuggling stuff as well. You don't know how many boats have been lost due to smuggling, because anywhere there's the coastline, you've got smuggling in the UK that used to go on big time. So it might be interesting what you start getting through the spirit box and when you're on that bay.
Yeah. Lindsay's in the chat, Anne's in the chat, Seago's in the chat, and Ghost Stories have showed up. Hello, Philip and Caroline. Long time no see. But I think the last investigating that we started delving into coastal investigations, especially around spirit box communication and EVP and stuff like that. It's extremely different. It's extremely difficult because the conditions have to be right. Because you got the coastal winds and stuff. But if you can get a good calm day, it's brilliant. I had a very interesting session just before lockdown. We never knew that this was going to hit us, this pandemic.
Yeah.
And I had the spirit box. I was sitting on a picnic bench on the beach in Greencastle, and on the spirit box it says, "We're all FUCKED." Really, really clear. And boy, did I not know what that meant, but I was going, do you know, when when the spirit box scan and it goes, Ed, Mary, hello.
Yeah.
You get the one or two words. But then next thing, when you hear the radio just completely changing behaviour, we're all, and you go, it just catch you off by surprise, and that was one of the last areas we've been before everything went down. Do you know?
Yeah.
But if you have any bit of wind at all, you've got the noise factor of the sea and stuff like that. Noise isn't that bad as long as it's not overbearing. Because actually, water noise and stuff like that is great for EVPs. But you have if it's not saturating your audio, it's fine. Do you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But the factor there is that sometimes wind can be a factor. So it's difficult conditions, if you know what I mean. Do you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
You got some interesting introductions to some of your sessions the other day with some see you next Tuesday words.
Oh yeah. That was on the RTC box too. Yeah, it was pretty strange. Do you know? I mean, like over time. Yeah, people are very skeptical of using human speech for spirit communication, and older ITC researchers would say, no, use a shortwave radio and put it on a station where there's no human voices. That's okay in that, but the thing is, this other method works as well. You know, it does work, and that's why we do it. You know, yes, it sort of needs to move forward a bit because we need longer more clearer communication, like we're talking right now.
Yeah.
We're a long way off there, but it does work. Now, sort of the next job is trying to take what we need from the frequencies or whatever and discard the rest, and that's sort of a step forward, because
Yeah.
we have audio there that's not sort of needed, and to actually figure that out, you'd need audio engineers, you need professionals around audio and stuff like that, and that's why
Yeah.
professionals are still very important. Scientists are important,
Absolutely.
if they play ball,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know.
It takes a long time to differentiate what you're supposed to hear and what the rest is just garbage.
Yeah.
I found that moving around from box to box, it takes me a while to adapt to the different sounds.
Yeah, what I found, and I found over time, it's all about tuning your ear.
Yeah.
The possible responses. There is a different. It's very hard to explain, but there's a slightly different tone.
It's a different pitch and tone to
Yeah.
what the radio's coming through as.
Yeah,
It almost comes through like it's been somehow softened. That is the best way I tend to pick it up. Whereas your radio signals and your radio broadcasts tend to be quite harsh sounding. When you start to get communication, it's almost like it's been run through a filter and softened. It sounds it sounds more naturally spoken than the radio signal itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one thing to do when you start up the box is listen to the rhythm. Like when you turn on the car and you hear you hear the car running in that. Same with the spur box. Turn it on, listen to that rhythm for a little while, and then start adding your questions. And then you'll eventually hear you'll see the rhythm start to break up actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it normally happens around the time of response. And then sometimes you'll have a radio voice, and then you'll have a background voice with that response in there.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. But when you hear the cycle, you hear the snippets of sound and the normal rhythm of the radio, and then you start asking questions, and you'll see that if you see that rhythm break, then you know that there's something sort of manipulating that. Not always the case. Sometimes you'll have a stray radio station that'll come in and out and that, but a lot of the time when you're asking questions, that rhythm will break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
See, what's interesting about you going to the coast as well, a lot of people consider that water is an energy source, especially moving water. And this is why a lot of people say they get strong communication near water. Now the sea is your biggest body of moving water there is. So I think you might. I do, Sam. I think you might start getting some really interesting responses when you get there.
When you're walking on the beach, in the water you've got the salt, but in the sand you'll have tiny little white particles, and that's all quartz.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Well, basically you're standing on a beach, which is basically silicon. Which is the basis of all electronic circuitry.
Well, I was watching a video, I think in the last week or two, and they were talking about how different things contain parts of energy and memories, and they were saying that water, believe it or not, is probably the element or the thing that holds on to energy or the memories of energy so much more so than anything else.
Yeah. Well, if you think about it, what's the quickest way to electrocute yourself?
Water and
and in water.
Because water conducts so well.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. I think we're not fully there yet with water, because actually water, sound in water travels quicker than it actually is in air.
Yeah, it does.
Yep.
And father.
You know, if you, yeah, do you know when you're underwater in a swimming pool and somebody is getting down the creaky steps of the swimming pool? You can hear it so much clearer underwater than you hear up above, you know. So, is water a something that can be used in future? Possibly, you know, in the line of electronics. Who knows? Who knows? Somebody might. Some mad scientist in his garage would come up with something someday that would add water to the mix, you know.
Yeah.
It might be interesting, Sam, when you're on the coast, if you can get one, is get a waterproof box and stick a spirit box and a recorder in there, and then just stick it in on the edge of the surf, anchored down, and then leave it for half hour and see what comes through.
Interesting.
So that the box is actually underwater.
Steve Hope done that with EVPs with a Pelican box.
Did he?
Yeah. He put a Panasonic DR60. My brain's not working this morning. Into the Pelican box, and he put it in under the under the water. He was still getting EVPs with it.
Yeah,
you know,
but that might be something to try. Is get a waterproof box and stick a spirit box in it with a recorder, and then just leave it running for half hour and see what it.
Yeah. Paranormal white noise. Hello. Yeah, I mean, like if water is a good conductor of sound, it is actually a great idea. You know. Do you know?
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's Jeff from On the Road. He's got one of those little, like a underwater little drone sub thingy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Even something like that, and find a way to attach some sort of a attachment to your box, like a solenoid or something. I don't know, but yeah, and put that underwater and see. You know, start off in a calm area and get familiar with it, and
see,
then
this is one area that a lot of paranormal teams wouldn't have messed with because obviously water and electrics don't mix that well. But you know, it might be wise dipping into it and seeing what happens.
Yeah,
you know, that's the only way we're going to progress is by pushing the boundaries of what we already know.
Absolutely.
Tie it to a fishing rod. It needs to be sealed in some way. So you go.
Stranger things have happened. You might pull up dinner.
Yeah.
My brain was working overtime. It's Zara. That it was. I was quiet there for a sec. Paranormal white noise, and I was going. Sure, what do you call it? I seen her not so long ago. Hiya, Zara. Sorry about that. It's too early in the morning for me. It takes me about 3 or 4 hours to sort of get going again.
Hang on.
Oh, Brett's doing this.
Wolfie's phasing.
It's a what are they? You know, those shows.
I'll need to get a better plug for the computer to plug the capture card in.
We thought you were
going into the darkness.
You were going into the next dimension.
Oh, wonder if there's any Desmonds in the ocean.
Brett fell in.
I told you I won't go into heaven. I'll get surrounded by darkness.
That would be so funny.
I thought Brett just fell into a portal, you know?
Portal sucking me in.
Yeah.
What's that? The show, The Twilight Zone, isn't it?
Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
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 A tear in space and time.
See, there you go, Sam. You even had live proof of portals on your stream. I managed to crawl back out before it closed.
What did you see, Brad?
Yeah, what did you see?
Desmonds,
I mean,
hundreds of them. Hundreds of Desmonds.
Oh,
Not
Desmond's.
Hundreds of Desmonds. Yeah, they were all
No.
sitting there doing the knitting and drinking coffee.
Had the, had their horns, Brian.
You
Oh, they were
watched them?
doing a Hellboy and polishing them.
Did they have horns?
Oh yeah, all different types. They
Two
were
or
hanging
three.
the wall. They were hanging the wall balls on it when they were knitting. Stop them rolling around. Yeah, and it probably spat me out more than me crawled out.
Oh,
Oh, gee.
oh,
I've
that's
got an image of that in
hilarious.
my head now.
Yeah,
I am actually, believe it or not, in the middle of doing something for my merch connected to Desmond's that Julie suggested to me the other day.
yeah.
Oh, dear.
Go, girl.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear.
And I'm all excited because I'm waiting for money. I've ordered a Wolf Paranormal t-shirt and a Wolf Paranormal hoodie. I've ordered an hoodie now as well, Sam.
Oh, right.
But the t-shirt's out for delivery, so hopefully we might have it for tomorrow. If not, it'll be next Friday stream, and I'll wear it. And I believe Sam's ordered one as well, so we'll be wearing Wolf Paranormal t-shirts on the stream.
Yes.
We look like twins, Sam.
Yes, I've had to retire some merch that I've purchased, but I'm not going to go into that.
Did you manage to sort it out?
I
Or
haven't
did you
tried
wreck it?
yet.
Oh, you ain't tried it yet.
No. Yeah, that's the thing about merch. You know, you follow somebody and you buy their merch and that, and then to do something stupid.
Yeah,
or do
and then you
something
don't want to wear it
naughty.
anymore.
No, no. We won't go down that route.
No, don't open.
Oh, I got something picked up yesterday, and that is the Grundig S350
I really like that.
Got it.
manual radio. Do you know?
Is there a digital display on it?
It is, yes. But it's got a really free. It's got a really free tuning dial. The only thing is, when you get to the end of the frequency, you have to turn back.
Oh right.
Do you know that's the only thing. But the antenna is about 4 feet. It's huge, and
Wow.
A number of shortwave frequencies and everything bands on there. Pretty good piece of kit, and then you got a separate button for treble and bass. Do you know?
Mm-hmm.
They don't make radios like they used to. Some of the radios now, there's hardly any circuitry in them at all. But these are pretty cool. So I'm working with shortwave at the moment behind the scenes. I don't. Do you know what I mean? There's some things I don't. There's some things I do that I don't put on my YouTube channel. My work and messing about doesn't revolve solely around my YouTube channel. If it did, it would be kind of I don't know, it would cheapen the experience or something. Do you know, there's some things I do that not necessarily I'm going to put on the channel, but I just do it for myself. Do you know?
Yeah. See, the problem now, because they're trying to make things as cheap as possible, they're compressing more and more onto a single circuit board. Whereas the older radios, a lot of them were like dual circuit boards that they'd got, and they were easier to work with. Now everything seems to be running through chips rather than physical wires on circuit boards.
Yeah,
that's why a lot of the newer ones are so hard to hack.
Do you know you take the Roberts radios? Do you know there's all different kinds of the Roberts or a 9921 and the 9914.
Yeah, I've got the 9914.
They're like a brick. I mean, they're when you open them up, there's just circuitry everywhere. Yeah. And then you buy a radio now, and the whole radio is run off one little chip, and there's just hardly anything in them. Nothing. You know.
Yeah. Have you all heard the news about the current UFO stuff, Sam? The current alien stuff?
No.
There's rumors circulating that the US military are about to release even more stuff any day now. So that should be interesting.
I'm not expecting Santa Claus to come in this situation.
Oh no.
To be honest.
But it'll be interesting to see what other evidence they put forward of, what other ships and military stuff has been visited, shall we say.
Yeah. You know?
As we've been
Morning,
discussing,
Tara.
why now?
Hello, Tara. Sorry.
Why now? Why are they suddenly?
Because everybody's in lockdown and they can fly around more without being noticed.
Well, they can beam you up without anyone noticing you're missing, and then plonk you back down.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. So if you don't take your, COVID safe app with you, you're buggered.
Mm-hmm.
It's aliens going around giving people the coronavirus injection. Yeah.
Oh.
Do you think during all this corona pandemic that paranormal occurrences have increased, decreased, or stayed the same?
I haven't actually followed that. I haven't actually looked into it because I don't know
to me, from what I've watched, it seems like things have decreased. You'd think they would increase.
Yeah.
I don't think it comes across to me that things have actually died down rather than ramped up.
The one thing that I have seen is an increase in people faking paranormal stuff, especially on TikTok and that. So if there's an increase verbally of paranormal activity, perhaps it's got to do with that.
Mm-hmm.
People thinking it's real.
Yeah.
Do you know what I was expecting? People can't get out. What we do next? Our house is haunted, folks.
Yeah.
That's the get out of jail card right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was expecting. But I don't follow a lot of paranormal stuff anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I try to.
You'd think with all these people who have apparently died of it, there'd be a lot more personal communication coming through from people just, assuring the families that they're okay and stuff. But there don't seem to have been any sort of mass increase in it, even though, apparently there's been this huge increase in the death rate for the last 18 months. Yet, communication doesn't seem to have ramped up in relation to it. If anything, it seems to have gone quieter.
It's gone back down. Yeah. I'd agree with you.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Then you have to sort of think, what are we communicating with? That's what the older ITC researchers call them, communicators. Now they insist that they spoke to their dead colleagues before and spoke to loved ones. That they can prove. But even though they don't show, a lot of these older researchers, they keep the stuff to themselves. Mm-hmm. They record it, put it on tape. Way back in the day, they put it on their tapes, and they put their tapes all filed up, and that was their storage. Mm-hmm. And they can tell you, I spoke to my colleague, so and so, who used to do all this. It was an ITC researcher, and I heard his voice, and that. But they won't show you because they're not governed by social media and YouTube. And the most important thing to them is they got it and they have it.
Mm-hmm. Go on, Sam, sorry.
But it's their choice whether they show their evidence or not. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Carl's just asked an interesting question there.
Hasn't he?
Do you think all the electromagnetic radiation we're swimming in is increasing paranormal activity? Personally, I think it may be corrupting it. I think they may be finding it more, with the increase in all this EMF and signals and stuff. It's like wading through a thicker ocean, isn't it, to get Earth? I think we may actually be dampening it down rather than increasing it. So,
sorry, go, Jill.
I was just going to say a point was made, I think, last week where we were talking about the EMF pumps and things and how they can cause
Hallucinations.
delusion, and hallucination, So maybe some of it's hallucination. Who knows?
I was just going to say the same thing. I think the activity has been dulled. We've had a lot of large flares. As you know, I monitor this solar stuff. It should be increasing or amplifying, but it's not. And it's not making communication clearer. So you've got to wonder, as we've been asking for, 6 or 8 weeks now, what is it? Why we keep pushing the boundaries and doing the experiments that we do. What is it we're really communicating with? And I threw my hat in the ring last week as probably an outlier, but I don't believe it's paranormal. I don't believe it sits under that. I'm not happy with the word spirits. I'm not convinced that we're dealing with past electric beings that have had a human experience. I think we need to start looking at different ways to define and describe what it is that we're really experiencing.
Yeah.
So I'll say it again. So, yeah, that's just my humble opinion.
What do you think, Sam?
What you do get is a confrontation of different information. Some of them say that they're dead. Some of them will say that you're dead. Some of them will explain to you that there's people around them. Some of them won't tell you at all. Yeah. Some of them will tell you that they're in heaven straight off the bat. That's happened a number of times. Some of them will say that they're in hell, and some of them will tell you that they're in this world right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And do you think the EMF's caused? What do you think about the EMF question?
I don't know that I think what's happening in the world is a net of frequencies and mobile phone signals and radio signals, and that is putting a net around it, and it possibly could be making a garbled mess of it possibly is making that communication that little bit more harder possibly. It's certainly complicating things, I think. Do you know?
Absolutely. I totally agree with that. You've also got to factor in not only the externals of solar flares impacting communication systems here on Earth, satellites that are floating around the planet. You've also got the Earth's own frequencies with electromagnetic energy from inside the planet. Yeah. And water's another one where 75-80% of the planet is water. So, looking at water and what it is and isn't as potentially a conductor or holding memory, who knows? No one's exploring that. Everybody just puts Desmonds in their bloody thumbnails just to attract attention, and they can't prove what they're talking to. They're using human psychological and emotional wording out of a sound bank, and we've all talked about that. Sort of building back into Julie's point, it will have an impact on your brainwaves and the chemical reactions in your brain. Whether you consider that a paranormal event or something else needs to be investigated. It's not always something spooky, and it's certainly not anything negative unless that's all you're putting out. So, yeah, I think it's what I said before. We need to factor in these behavioural impacts on our biology, and we need to start looking at better words and language to describe and define what it is that we're experiencing, either individually or collectively.
Yeah, true, actually. Yeah, who knows? Water could be the answer to everything.
Could be.
Who knows?
Who knows? No one's looked, as Brett said before. It's totally true. No one's looked at the conductors. leading back into your opening statements about doing the coast. Perfect opportunity, Sam. You know, you're standing on a quartz deposit. How much of a power boost do you need?
Yeah.
You need water and quartz in the sand.
Tara's just said something there that I actually agree with. She put it comes and goes at my house. I don't post anything, just get EVPs from time to time. I think it has to do with the atmosphere, something like that. I personally believe that atmospheric conditions play a big part in communication and in things like residual hauntings. I think they are actually the catalysts that trigger the recording to replay. I firmly believe that you know, atmospherics play a major part in it, because as we know, atmospherics, you know, affect radio signals. Anybody who's ever used a CB radio will tell you, if the atmospherics are right, you can be picking up broadcasts from people hundreds of miles away on a CB radio.
Yeah.
It's true.
Do you know what's paranormal? There's 15 people in the chat this morning.
Yeah, how do we know what we're communicating with? There you go.
Hello.
Big, massive thanks. You know, I haven't been on for such a long time. To have 15 people in chat, 15, 16 people in chat at this hour of the morning, absolutely amazing. Thanks very much.
You guys
and they're
are
from
awesome.
all over the world, so yeah, go Sam.
Yeah, you know,
I do wonder if Tesla
girlfriend.
stumbled on some kind of link between electricity and spirituality, paranormal activity. He's done a few interviews on the subject. If anyone had that information, it'd be him. I believe that Tesla did actually have an interest in the paranormal, from what I can remember reading up on him. I think, I think he did actually believe there was a connection between electricity and things like, you know, hauntings and ghosts and stuff like that.
He claimed also when he built his tower that he was picking up signals from another planet, and towards the end of his life he confirmed that it was before the tower was taken down. He openly stated that it was Mars that he thought he was getting signals from, but he was but it was in this, surprisingly and interesting, he thought it was in the Cygnus system.
Yeah.
So who knows? There's a lot of interest in that at the moment.
Mm-hmm. I'm just reading the chat.
Yeah, me too.
I'm not through my first pint of coffee yet. Now I've only had 3. I'm going to do me another one in a minute because I'm really dry-throated.
I forgot I can do this, you know. It's easier to see the chat, actually, when you stick it up like that. It's pretty
It
cool.
is.
Yeah.
It's great stream.
I always pop the chat out of the actual YouTube and then just close YouTube down, because you can pop the chat out, close down YouTube, and the chat still works.
Yeah, I had mine up that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. StreamYard's just a heavy lifting for you, and you don't.
It does if you're the host. It doesn't if you're not, because your guests can't actually comment in chat without actually opening up the YouTube chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with Carl on that one. He also claimed interdimensional experiences. So that opens the question: how do you to portals? How do you create a portal using electricity or radio frequencies, vibration, energy? He swore by that, and yeah, he's one of my heroes actually, Nikola Tesla. He was treated very badly, but a lot of his patents that he registered over the course of his life, once he died, the US government came in and they've never been released.
Luna says, I've seen that I had a notification that you guys were on. It stopped me going to bed. Sorry, Luna.
Did she?
We love you here.
Yeah, you good thing.
I found an article many years ago when I first started really getting into spirituality, like New Age spirituality, and I have to find it for you guys. It was based on portals being normal portals that were placed throughout the world in different locations, and they would open up at specific times when the conditions were right, and they reckon that people could travel through them. I have to find the article for you.
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
Portals are a funny one for me because I believe that they actually occur when it's dimensional, because there has to be some kind of doorway open up.
Yeah.
I'm not convinced that portals are connected to ghosts or the spirit world in any way, because I'm of the belief that the spirit world actually coexists with ours. So when people go, "Oh, there's a portal in my bedroom," I'm always a little bit skeptical of that, because from my personal opinion, the spirit world is intermeshed with our own, so they wouldn't need a portal to come through.
Yeah,
Dimensional things would.
Paris can walk around.
Yeah, the article that I read, it wasn't to do with ghosts. It was like an interdimensional portal. Yeah.
I have a portal. It's wrote on everything nowadays. It really, really annoys the hell out of me.
I knew you were going to go for that. I thought he's going to go for that thing with the word portal on it.
Steve,
I knew it.
Steve.
I can read you now. Oh, bugger Steve Huff. You're better than Steve Huff. He's been proved a rotten tomato.
I
you
still
called
look
him
at
out
his
the other
old.
day and you got a response and you nailed him.
I take the odd pot shot at him, but I'm not in the habit of doing it. I actually look at his old stuff, actually. Way back before all these flipping noise gate pedals that actually block frequencies and stuff like that. Way before that, when he was messing around with radios.
I'm just going to nip to the loo. I'll be back in a sec.
Okay.
And doing coffee chats and stuff like that. Thing is, egos get in the way, and other things like money and stuff, But the big thing is instant gratification, YouTube, social media, people get carried away, and they want to be well known in the paranormal. What benefit is that going to be to you?
Absolutely not.
To me, the stars of all of this is the communicators that we know absolutely very little about, and very often they don't get the credit for it. They get called demons. They get called poltergeist. They get called all sorts of names. They get accused of scratching people. They get accused of throwing things when most of the time they haven't done anything. So that's a bit disrespectful. You know what I mean? So
I totally agree with you on that. I totally agree with you on that. Oh, I apologise, my sinuses, and I've got an itchy nose.
Oh, say hello to Glenn. Glenn has gone into amateur radio as well. Amateur radio. Yeah.
Glenn?
Amateur radio. A lot of the older ITC researchers, and possibly some of the new ones, they started off with amateur radio, and that is a whole big wormhole in itself. When you think about, communicators, spur communication, UFOs, strange signals that a lot of amateur radio people are picking up and they can't explain it, stuff like that,
Yeah, absolutely. Well, my background's from amateur radio and CBs and driving trucks and stuff. But in all truth, honestly, particularly on a CB during an electrical storm and you're driving through really electrified air, ionized air, it is extraordinary the stuff that comes through.
Yeah, and nowadays you can actually get into listening very, very cheaply with these Bofang radios and stuff. And I actually picked up the ISS once for about 10 seconds, by having the antenna lying flat across like that. No, it was for about 10 seconds, and that I didn't even have. I wasn't able to grab a recorder or nothing. It was in and it was out, and that was it. But you can get way back years ago. It used to cost thousands and thousands to get into this, and now it's because of the price of electronics. People can get into it pretty cheaply now.
Yeah, but as you've all said with your channels, over time to grow them, the amount of time that you have to put into travel, accommodation, fuel, equipment, staying up with the latest information so that you're not like everybody else and just put out the same BS product every week.
Mm-hmm.
That costs you money. And I
Yeah.
think like Julie, who's got children, a single mum, and I'm like always amazed that she's as current as she is. No, that's not a derogatory statement. I just think it's always just astounding. Like yourself, Sam, you invest a lot in your radios and so forth, but if you were to sit down and just in that room alone that you're in with the equipment you've got around you, how many pounds would it have set you back over the last few years to have all this equipment to push that boundary? Brett's the same. He's just built another, whiz-bang computer, and he's got his sound deck. Heaven help us when we want to water lettuce. But to get all that takes money. That's the one.
He had to go there, didn't he?
I opened the door. My bad.
Shouldn't mention things like that.
There's an unidentified submersible object right there for you, bro.
Now find the frequency to that.
Hey! Back in a sec, my t-shirt's just arrived. He's jamming it through the letterbox. Back in a sec.
I just had a picture of his t-shirt arriving. It's weird.
Mine should arrive soon too.
Yeah. So exciting.
Yeah. People often say, "Oh, Sam's really invested and stuff like that." But you're always learning. You're never up there. You got these professions where there's do's and don'ts, and everything's black and white. With this, it isn't. Do you know what I mean? There's always something to learn. Oh, t-shirt time.
Yes, it's my t-shirt.
Open it up.
Mine should arrive. Mine should arrive soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Here you got an unboxing on your channel, sir.
Merch unboxing.
Yeah.
What did you think we were all Stevie Wonder and we were going to figure it out by Braille?
Right. There's the
front. Oh, yeah.
And that's the back of it.
Oh,
Nick. I've got to get me one of those.
God, that looks good.
Excellent design. Really good.
Yeah.
So what did you?
I'll be wearing that tomorrow.
The other night, about $70, $71 or something Australian. Is that right?
No, I don't think it was that much.
No, not for the
t-shirt.
shirt.
Oh no, that was the hood, the zip-up hoodie. Yeah,
The hoodie.
right. Yeah, sorry. Oh, I'm going to have to look at that. You have to send me the link for the merch channel.
Is this on the channel itself? It's on my main channel. If you click up the links at the top.
Yep. On the YouTube banner.
Thank you.
Very, very nice. Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
I'm liking it.
I wasn't liking the way he's just jammed it through the letterbox.
I don't think Coco did either.
No.
That's why I had to get there before
We're
she
out of a
started
job
digging her
for the
teeth
day.
into it.
I get a lot of I do get a lot of packages, and sometimes I think the postman kicks it around the street before he gives it to me.
Well, if Coco got the shirt first, you might have been wearing a cutoff.
Yeah, it would have been. He didn't have had holes in it.
Brett would have had to race back and mute it while he mutilated the dog. I've just paid it.
Zara says she wants your Zippy, Sam. Everybody wants Sam's Zippy.
Oh, a Zippy? Zippy's great. I bought Zippy for 50 cents last week in a charity shop, and I walked in the door. I barely even looked at him. I just seen it the corner of me. I just grabbed it like that. I'm having him. And I'm running around with him under my arm. You know? 50 cents. 50 cents, you know?
That's cheap.
Yeah, 50 cents in a charity shop, St. Vincent de Paul. It helps. It's a charity that helps out the people that are difficult, in difficult circumstances. And actually, back years ago, actually was they helped me out, and I actually worked for them at one point too. They used to be there's the shops that deal with nothing but furniture.
Yep.
So some people they would get a council house, and they wouldn't be able to afford to lots of stuff. They could get a grant from the government, and they could come into the shop and they could get very good quality secondhand furniture from that. And I used to be involved in delivery and stuff like that, and I thought it was uplifting, Seeing people start to, I've actually seen people. I've actually seen people cry when their furniture arrives.
Yeah.
Do you know? There was one lady. She bought it. She saved up for a suite of furniture, and we arrived at the house, and her and her 3 or 4 children were sitting on beanbags, and she was sobbing when and it was like she won the lottery when we arrived with the couch and that. And, sometimes after the delivery, you get into the van and you just sit there and just do nothing, say nothing, just take it all in and stuff.
Yeah.
Very uplifting experience, and some of the things that people go through. And we dealt with both sides. Where, we went to rich people's houses and they donated furniture and stuff like that. Yeah. And, the chandeliers and the whole lot. And then you go to people's houses and they're sitting on cardboard boxes and bean bags and stuff.
Yeah.
It's just, it teaches you about life and experience like that,
It certainly does. I don't know if it's a worldwide organisation, but we have St. Vincent de Paul in Australia as well. And they do the same thing. They help people out if they don't have money for food or whatever, and they have secondhand clothing and furniture which you can buy quite cheap. And
yeah.
Don't tell I'm skiving. Oh, I know. I forgot to tell you, Sam. Me and Julie were going through Julie's family tree yesterday, and Julie's got descendants who were born in towns I'm from.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Me and Julie might be related, God forbid, but we might be
related.
Yeah.
I'm reading out all the
something unnatural about that whole thing.
Yeah. Oh, do you know what else is kind of ironic, Brett? I might be related to Deb as well.
That's true.
Julie's related to everybody in the world.
That
you could very well be related to Sam. You've got a lot of Irish in the family.
I know. I could be related to all of you.
I got Scottish.
Have you?
My grandfather.
Yeah. I thought it was quite ironic.
Yeah, but when you text me that this afternoon, and that's why I came back with, oh, no, don't tell me.
Kissing.
Don't tell me. Yep.
That might explain a few things, actually.
It could explain a lot.
No, Evelyn, we're not kissing cousins. We're just, we are related.
Yeah.
It turns out.
Oh,
It blew me away. It blew me completely off the chair.
yeah, it blew me away. Maybe that's why we're all brought together now. Maybe we're all connected.
Yeah, who knows?
instantly. Oh,
Well, yeah.
Did I say
There's
hello to
four.
Kim? I'm going to say hi to you again, Kim, because I can't remember whether I said hello to you or not.
hey Kim, I don't know if I said hello.
There's
Who?
13,
Kim.
14,
Oh,
15 in chat. Are you all mad in the head this hour of the morning?
You guys are
Oh.
amazing.
Thanks very much. Yeah,
It's not
really,
morning anymore, Sam. It's a minute past 12 now. We're into the afternoon.
That's it.
you know, it's only just after 7 o'clock here in Western Australia. So, and I'm 2 hours behind Julie.
Yep. Yeah, just 7.
Yeah.
I'll
So
How
let
do
about
you
you-
like the shirt, Kanga? I've got an hoodie on order as well. So I'll be able to wear my hoodie in a couple of weeks. But I'll wear that T-shirt on the stream tomorrow night.
Yep.
I think
If
there's something.
if it fits over my fat belly, that is.
I think there's something paranormal going on with my camera there. I think
I know.
Oh no,
aliens are sending messages by flashing lights.
Beep, 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 beep.
bring me up, Scotty.
To see that. I spent thousands on equipment and I have a shitty webcam. You know.
I'm
Yeah.
not saying a word.
My computer will do.
Oh, my computer belongs in a museum at this stage. Surprised it's still working.
Yeah, I won't tell you what I spent on my camera in case Jace is listening.
Brett.
That's not a positive sign for a relationship. Is keeping secrets. Not a good. Oh.
Sam, the universe loves you.
No, we love him. We love her. We love her.
We love Sam to beat.
We love the Sam.
She's
Seago
amazing.
says, are you running Windows 95 over there, Sam?
No, we're just.
Actually, shouldn't Windows be announcing Windows 11 today? I'm sure there's a big announcement off Microsoft today.
Oh yeah,
about the new Windows. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, which has already been leaked and everybody's got on the computer already.
Funny how that happens, huh?
I still have a Windows. Fucking hell, Windows 7.
2010.
Yeah, I have a Windows 7 laptop, but one of them Panasonic Toughbooks. And I thought back, I think the software has changed now, but you know, when I was mucking around with SLS camera stuff, you know, the 3D imaging and stuff, you had to have a Windows tablet or a Windows laptop, and it had to be Windows 7 or Windows 8, not Windows 10. You know, but apparently I think the software has changed now, so I don't know.
Believe it or not, somewhere I've still got the floppy drives for Windows 3.1. If anybody wants to install that onto the computer.
Talk about vintage. Wow.
God.
Hang on to them. They're going to be a collector's item one day.
Yeah, I've still got the floppy disk drives for 3.1.
I've got an old
fish discs with information and
yeah.
Oh, and those bloody
Zara says Windows 7 is one of the best versions of Windows going.
And she's right, it is.
Yeah, I
Is it?
agree with that.
Yeah, it is. It was one of the most stable of them all.
The only thing is there's no updates for them now.
No, they don't support it anymore.
Yeah, I remember I had Windows Vista. It was crap.
Vista was the one that really brought the blue screen of death to life.
Yeah.
It was very unstable and crashing a lot.
And one of the first search engines that came onto the internet was, I still reckon it was one of the better ones, in my humble opinion, was Netscape.
Yeah.
The little, I loved it.
Yeah, hang off on buying Windows 10 at the moment, Jack, because Windows 11 is supposed to be being announced today.
Yeah.
It's amazing how things go out of date so quick.
Windows ME. That was another horror story.
Yeah, that's why I went, oh, let's not go there.
I didn't have a lot to do with Windows because I've always had a Mac. Almost always.
I never hear of people running Linux, but it's supposed to be pretty good.
Linux is really good, but yeah, Linux is good because it's open source, but like Macs, there's a lot of incompatibility issues with software.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's why I'd never have a Mac. There's just too much I use that just simply wouldn't run on it.
I kind of wish that they would have made the Macs like they used to. Like I remember when I had the old Blueberry Mac. It had the coloured back on it.
Mm-hmm.
I had one of that. When I had one of them, I was at TAFE, I used to bring my work home from TAFE, which was done on a Windows program, and I used to be able to open it up on the Mac, no issues, because it had a converter.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it doesn't. It's not that easy.
No.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Unfortunately for Windows, even now, to get access to some of the apps that we use, like Streamlabs and others, you have to have Windows. You have to run both. There's just no ifs, buts, or babies, unfortunately. Did I say babies? I meant to say maybes.
It's amazing how we came on here with no agenda and the conversation just flowed, you know?
Yeah.
No one does with them.
So it always goes.
I'm not very organized. I didn't write anything down, didn't have any subject or anything like that. But there's always something to talk about, you know?
Yeah, always.
The good thing is a lot of this old technology is coming back now and being used in the paranormal community.
Yes.
You know, stuff that people ain't used for years, they're now suddenly finding there's a use for it in the paranormal community. Solely because it's older and it's, you know, the way it's built is easier to work with.
Do you know what fascinated me? And you know, I'm sort of thinking outside the box. You know, when you watch a video and you have an advertisement and there's an advertisement called Orcam My Eye, where you clip on this little thing onto your glasses.
Yeah.
For the visually impaired. There's one for reading. I'd love one, but they're about 3,000 or 4,000. They read everything for you, and you can go in and they can tell you what's in a room. Like, you know, I reckon things like that could come into paranormal eventually. But then again, are we clustering investigating with technology?
You know, this is what I say, Sam. You know, I think it's getting to the point where maybe we started to rely too much on technology.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh my God.
Vinyl's back, analog is making a comeback too, yeah.
Yeah, it's true. There's
analog
not as much
analog audio is, especially in terms of EVP. Analog technology is a lot better than digital, believe it or not.
I'd believe it.
Do you know sometimes the comment section can be gold? Somebody made a comment and they were talking about, you know, communication and EVP and background audio support and stuff like that. And he says, has anybody used a record player and put a record on it? And do you know, like you're doing the scratch and, you know, using that audio for communication? But I mean, like, that's thinking outside the box here, like, do you know? And
I don't know anybody with a record table, but it'd be worth trying.
You know, people sometimes say, sorry, this might be a stupid idea, but I thought I'd share it anyway. Nothing's a stupid idea. Do you know what I mean?
No.
If you can think outside the box and think for yourself, go for it. Go for it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah. But Steve Hope might be there. Oh, there's an idea. I want to steal that now.
Mm-hmm. Who gives a rat's ass about Steve Huff, really?
Yeah. The best thing to do is not talk about these people at all. That's you know.
You brought it up.
Yeah, I know. But the best way of dealing with things like that is no response at all. You know, just let them
Yeah.
get on with their thing, because it diverts you from doing.
Space inside your head.
Yeah,
Nice.
it sort of
Rebecca.
diverts you from doing your own thing. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
You know? Yeah.
See, this is the beauty about the paranormal. Once you found your niche, you can just concentrate on that and just, ignore the rest if you want to.
Yeah.
And just on your channel
Get on
anyway.
with it. That's life.
Thing is, you know, we may say somebody's not so good in that, but they're not 100% bad. Do you know what I mean? There's always something to be learned from somebody.
Of course there is.
Do you know? Do you know what
You
I
never
mean?
stop learning until the day you drop dead.
Yeah. Do you know? Even take my, my radio that I bought here.
Yeah.
I was influenced by Stevie Boy. You know what I mean? Do you know? I just didn't push myself until I watched Rob on the Power Awakening, and I just says, I says, stop thinking about it and just get one. You know?
Yeah. You really
You know?
need to do a cleansing on the Huff Boy.
Yeah.
They're talking about the old stuff in what's it? And Kanga just put Rick Astley. Rick Astley was Kylie Minogue and vice versa, depending on the speed it was played. That was very true. That was very true. If you sped up a Rick Astley record, he sounded like Kylie Minogue. If you slowed Kylie Minogue down, she sounded like Rick Astley. That is very true.
Gee.
Oh, congratulations for even knowing who Rick Astley was. Oh, God.
Never gonna give you up.
Never gonna let you down. Oh, my God. Now really
And the weather was just starting to improve.
Oh,
This
God.
may sound woo-woo, but I use Boggle dice for communication, and it works great. I've got to be honest, Carl, I have no idea what Boggle dice is.
Yeah, I was just going to ask, what is that?
I've got to be honest, I have no idea what Boggle dice is.
Brain overload.
Yeah. Warning, Will Robinson. Warning.
System overload.
Yeah.
Although we might explain now in a second, and we can sleep tonight. And he's lying in bed. What was he on about?
Yeah.
No, I'll be bloody hearing Rick Astley in my brain, and now I'm going to have to. Yeah.
Never gonna give you up.
There's a Desmond in the house. Batman.
I want to cover Desmond's as part of the stream tomorrow night.
Okay.
That's going to be one of the topics. Desmond's.
Oh, to translate that, if anybody doesn't know, Desmond's is the other word for demons.
Yeah,
that's Brett invented.
Yes.
We got fed up with here. Yeah, we got fed up with hearing demons, so he nicknamed them Desmonds.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's catching on actually.
It is. I've heard other people using it, so good job.
Yeah,
I love it.
A new craze to the paranormal.
Boggle is a dice game where you make words with the letter. Oh, yeah.
Oh, right, yeah.
It's got the thing in the middle.
Actually, that is a good way of doing. Might try that myself one night.
Boggle.
Well, I ain't got Boggle, but I'll probably get something similar.
Got letters
and then you just scatter the dice and then make words out of what what it spells. I may have in a Desmond's. Everybody's got in a Desmond's. There you go. Believe me.
Do you know what I still can't get my head around? The time Brett done the stream on the old school stuff, and he had the pendulum, and next thing it was like he hooked a fish. It just went straight.
That was weird.
I can't
That
get
was
my head
weird
around.
the other week. That very last bit when you asked it to stop, I actually felt it being tugged. I could feel the tug. It was being tugged downwards, and I've never had that happen. I've never had that happen with a pendulum before. That was really weird.
That was
It
amazing, though.
stopped really, really quickly.
Yeah, it was like he hooked a fish. It just went like that.
I felt it pull downwards. You could actually feel the tug on the pendulum.
You can see it in real time.
I'm a skeptic person around things like that, but I was there going, how is that possible? Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
But then again, you can't have this is the thing about the paranormal. There is usually not a logical explanation for a lot of this stuff.
When
there is a
you're
logical
dealing
explanation.
Throw logic out the window.
Yeah, I mean, there's a logical explanation for some things, which is not. It turns out it's not paranormal, but you're going down a big rabbit hole no matter what way direction you go.
Yeah,
which is
yeah,
Very true.
Yeah, I think there's certain things in the paranormal that we'll never find answers to. We can have all the theories in the world, but we'll never have a proper scientific answer to.
No,
And you have these TV shows, about talking about ghosts. Oh, we consulted with paranormal experts, such and such, and I go, will you go away?
Yeah.
Paranormal.
there's no such bloody thing.
No.
Expert in what,
Yep.
There is experts, but it's specific fields. Audio, visual, video, electrical engineering, all those, and they're all brilliant. And we need more of those. We need the scientists. We need the engineers. We need the electrical engineers. We need the audio engineers. And the professional photographers. All that. If we had more of them in the field, things would be a lot better, I think.
Zippy is far, far older than Pokemon. Zippy is over like 50 years old. That's how long that program has been running in the UK. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. He does look like Charmander, though.
He's got no tail like Charmander.
Oh, doesn't he?
No, he don't have a tail.
No, from the front, though, he looks like Charmander.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's called Zippy because he was really obnoxious, and he's got a zip on his mouth, and they used to zip it across to shut him up. That's why he's called Zippy. He's got a zip on his mouth to shut him up.
Do you know what
his best friend was George, a Pink Hippo.
Do you know what I love? Do you know the recreations that some of these people on YouTube do, and they turn it into a swearing thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is actually an original version out there, Sam, of the original cast doing a very adult version of what's it? That's not fake. That was them doing it.
All right. Jeez. Yeah, I mean, like, I was way back when we couldn't even afford internet. A friend of mine used to send me funny files and stuff like that, and he was sending me Postman Pat adult version where they're just swearing,
Yeah.
And I thought they were hilarious, But that was way back. That was way back in dial-up, when you're trying on your computer and where it's actually dialing up a number and that you have to wait about 10 minutes for the flipping thing to start,
I believe we are all. I believe we are all part of a universal consciousness. And I believe we tap into it on this side of life and the other side. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we're all connected.
That's right, Zara. One skin, two skin. That's the one.
Oh, jeez.
You need to, after this stream, you need to go on to YouTube, people, and Google Rainbow adult version.
Rainbow?
Yeah, because that was what the kids' program was called, Rainbow. And you'll
Okay.
see Zippy, and he's but Google the adult version, and it was actually the adult.
Don't go there, Sam.
The
Honey,
original
don't go
cast did a version for adults, and it gets extremely rude in places.
I can see where this one is going.
That was part of what they said on. That was part of what they said on the Rainbow Adult video. 1 skin, 2 skin, 3 skin. There you go.
I think I seen that years ago.
Oh my goodness. Oh, thank you, spoken.
Oh God.
Oh, dear.
Who would have thought we had 15, 16 people in chat this hour of the day? People, a lot of the time it's nighttime people come on about the paranormal and that. We just thought, we do it coffee morning and that.
See, living proof that the paranormal doesn't have to be done in the dark.
That's right. It kicks on 24/7.
Mm-hmm.
Look, there's a deep Desmond over there, Zippy.
Yeah. We are Borg.
That bloody thing moves.
That's what you should do, Sam. You should do a video claiming Zippy's possessed. He's got an attachment.
Yeah, do a spirit session on Zippy.
Oh yeah, and then film, put loads of lights on him.
Yeah.
Yeah. His head turning around.
And his mouth going and the zip undoing and
that's it.
Zipping across again.
You're onto it.
Stuff a REM pod up its ass. Oh, Zara sent a link.
I don't think I want to see the visual of you resetting the REM pod.
No, that would not be.
Hang on, I'll see if I can find it.
It would be on YouTube, I think. I don't think it would come up on this.
I tell you what did give me a laugh. I actually caught up on your Mook House in scenes last night. That
was the most terrifying paranormal experience I ever had. Was a cow in a sitting room.
That was hilarious.
Walking down the hallway.
There you go. I've put the link up for you folks for the Rainbow Adult version.
I was just watching a little bit of it. Oh, it's hilarious.
And you can see how obnoxious Zippy is. And he was like that in the kids program as well. He was known to be the one that everybody wanted to shut up.
Yeah, the cow in the sitting room, if that was nighttime, that would have been even more funny.
Yeah.
We were watching that yesterday, Sam, and laughing about it.
Walking down the sitting room, and next thing, just this head of a cow comes out the flipping sitting room door, and I'm going, "It's a cow!"
You run.
Next thing, I'm running down the flipping. Next thing, and this cow is panicked because I'm there and runs into this bedroom, runs around, and I'm outside looking in, going, "It's a cow!"
Oh God, that was funny.
Flipping hell, that was hilarious.
Especially when you're outside, you go, "It's a cow!"
But if that was nighttime and with your night vision and you just see this head with the glowing eyes.
I was going to say, have you seen how a cow's eyes glow in the dark?
Yes, that's bloody spooky.
Flipping hell! I mean, that would have been, at nighttime, that would have been the funniest thing ever. But I would have had a shit attack. I just
peanut butter.
Oh God!
I don't know.
Oh God, that was funny.
And there was rumors that this house was haunted. I says it's haunted by cows. That's what I.
Well, it was true. It was haunted by cows.
Fucking hell!
It was literally.
And then to add insult to injury, because I'm scared of any animal bigger than myself, I go up to the main mansion, the main abandoned mansion, and that. I get to the area, and it's cornered up in a field and that, and it's flipping full of crows. Folks, where we are right now is.
Oh, is Brett playing it?
Oh, was that you, Brett?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm like,
For
what the hell?
For anybody wanting to watch the cow video, I've put the link to that there as well.
Yeah, thank you. My link didn't work.
Yes.
It's right at the beginning, so it's good.
Yeah, that's it was pretty embarrassing actually, but
It's
fun.
my favorite. It's my favorite paranormal video of all time. If people say to me, "What is your favorite paranormal video?" I always quote that one.
It's that one.
Do you know what? I never lived it down. I never lived it down for months. I used to go on to people's chats, paranormal chats, and then everybody, once I arrived in their chat, next thing they started going, "Hello, Samu."
I'll bet.
Oh, they ripped the piss for about 6 months afterwards.
It was months, wasn't it? Months and months.
Oh, months and months. People were even asking for merch and everything.
Oh, you should have.
I was just going to say
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's the last thing. It's the last thing when you go on a paranormal investigation. You go into an house. The last thing you expect to meet in the living room is a fully grown Frisian cow. Let's be honest.
Yes,
true.
Yeah,
it's true.
And especially the way it just pokes its head round the door and looks at you. Sort of thing.
Look.
It comes out and stares at. Oh, it's a freaking cow.
we could have invented a cartoon character, a ghost cow called Moo-Boo or
Moo-Moo.
Yeah.
Moo-Boo.
Fucking hell.
The cow's like, "What are you doing here?" And Sam's like, "What are you doing here?"
I think the cow was more scared of me than I was scared of it.
I think so.
You exit stage left, the cow exits stage right.
Yeah. Yeah, I was outside looking in the window.
It ran into the bedroom first, and it was looking at her through the bedroom window.
Yeah, I was outside. It's a cow!
Oh shit, Sam, it's a cow. Oh, girlfriend, that one made me laugh. Oh,
that's hilarious.
It was indeed.
So Jack goes and watches a video of you being chased by a cow, and the only thing she comments on is how good your hair looked.
I said the same thing though
It's true.
when I watched it.
Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah,
She's stunning.
Oh, God.
I think you shaved your head around the same time I did mine, though, didn't you? Or just before?
That's right.
Yeah.
I done it on your stream, even though I wasn't on your stream. I just says, "Fact, I'm going to do it too." You know.
You should have come up.
Yeah. You know.
That was the New Year thingy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
New Year? Yeah.
New Year 2 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the time.
It does you good occasionally to shave all your hair off and give it a chance to regrow again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had all kinds of colour in my hair and everything, and when I grew it back, it just says, "Damn it! I just leave it the way it is. I'll grow old disgracefully."
Yeah.
Yep, me too.
Well, that's why I've got my cap on, because I can't decide yet whether I'm growing mine or not.
Yeah, I'm trying to decide whether to leave mine the natural colour or not, because I have a lot of grey, as you can see. So I'm deciding whether to strip it.
It always looks better when the curtains match the carpet, to be honest with you.
I'm not going there, Brett. I'm not going there.
Not touching that.
Not going there.
No.
One day, let's all shave our hair together. Been there, done that.
Well, with my receding hairline, it won't take much.
I wouldn't do it again. Sorry. I did it once. That was enough.
No, I can't. I'd end my marriage in a heartbeat. I've done it a couple of times, but the last time was Janet had enough and said that because she thinks I look like Uncle Fester. So she actually took a photo with me asleep, and she put a light bulb in my mouth.
Halloween.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
yeah, I copped some shit over that one.
There's actually a city over here called Milton Keynes, and it was built, I think it was in the 60s or the 70s, and because it was, you know, it was a brand new city, they wanted to bring nature into it, so they put a load of concrete cows on an island, and that is what Milton Keynes is famous for, is the concrete cow island.
Talking to the ghosts of hair past.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yeah, Janet's gone full salt and pepper now.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I've had grey coming through in my hair since I was about 18 because I'm so dark haired. You know, I get the occasional, but I've never bothered with it. Just left it.
Yeah, mine's been genetic. We go grey early. Yeah.
Mm. Well, I don't have grey hairs, but towards the sides here, when it grows back, it's that platinum blonde. But I occasionally get dark hairs. But yeah, I'm not going to go grey per se. I'm just going to go really white, blondie colour, because I've never touched it with peroxide or anything. It's just natural. So I've kept the colour all the time.
Thing is, the youngsters, it's a big thing to dye their hair grey.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
You know?
very popular now to have grey or silver coloured hair. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's all
Yeah.
in. So,
you know what makes me laugh though is when women do it and then they don't do the eyebrows, so they've got like either silver or platinum blonde hair and big black bushy caterpillars above their eyes. It just looks really odd.
yeah, that's all the trend.
Yeah, look at Evelyn. He's put her through so much. She's skipping grey and going straight to white.
Happy birthday for a few weeks' time. So you go.
Yeah, we'll remember that. Happy birthday in case, you know,
Yeah.
you don't know what
Happy
happens.
birthday, CEO.
That's
30.
nice, Julie.
God.
Happy birthday in case you get
baby.
before the 9th comes.
Well, you know, I could be sick and not be able to stream or something. That's what I mean. I'm talking about me, not him. Have you had a chance to use your new box yet, Sam?
Which new box? I've
Have
loads
you
of
got
them.
more than one? Well, since the last time we spoke, you said you were going to get a new one.
Oh yes. Let me see. I got 2 RTCs, and I actually done trials. Do you know, like we have the direct response mode?
Yeah.
Do you know where you turn it on and you just get a few words coming out and stuff? Well, I've combined the 2 together.
Yeah.
And I'm getting great results from using the 2 of them together.
Oh, wow.
And it's not overbearing because, you know, there's only a few words that actually comes out at a time and there's a silence in that. And when there's a silence, the other box kicks in. It's, you know, it's been working pretty good. And that was one of the reasons why I wanted to try that.
Yep.
But them boxes have been pretty amazing, you know. You know, and a great tribute to Joe, you know, the creator of the Joe's box,
of course.
Which people, you know, are wanting to get their hands on a Joe's box. The problem is, the Joe's box was absolutely fantastic, apart from the tuners kept burning out on them.
Oh, okay.
You know, it even happened with Steve Hook back in the day. He ended up having to buy another one, and he got in touch with a guy that knew Joe, and he got himself a second one. But for a time, he was going around using the Joe's box a lot, and then he was awful disappointed when it stopped working on him. Yeah. And he got the second one, but certainly a brilliant box. The cases are becoming scarce, but I think Rob has sort of sort of taken a break from making the boxes for a while, and has
Yep.
moved on to other things. I think he's done a video recently where he's going to send out kits to people to make their own box. So
Oh,
yeah, to make their own little sweet box, and it's no static. There is no reverb circuit in it, but it's still a pretty good little setup, you know.
I love
Pretty
the
good.
sound. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know the great thing about that particular box is actually the circuit in it is an FM PSP 7 circuit, with the artificial white noise
Yep.
removed.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Joanne
The,
wants to know, Sam, what was the 2 boxes you ran together yesterday?
the
Oh,
two
that
of
was
them were
brilliant.
RTCs. Two
Yeah, those
RTCs.
ones. Yeah.
RTC 2 they're called. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that was the recording. I got the C word come up on that.
Yeah, that was the one straight off the
Yeah.
bat as soon as you turned it on.
The mad thing, the really strange and mad thing is, ever since I bought the first box, I've been plagued by Ed. You know, the guy that built the box, apparently this Ed character is associated with his house. I buy a box, and other people in the UK were bought the box. I know another person that got a box, and it's just plagued with Ed. Ed. Do you know? And it's kind of weird. And I'm just, we're buying these boxes from the United States. You know, it's not like we got them from down the road or in the UK, thousands of miles away. And you turn
Have a
on the
good night,
box.
Kevin.
You're getting
You know?
the same thing. Yeah. It's an
Yeah.
interesting something to explore, perhaps.
Yeah. Do you know, is the energy being imprinted onto an item? And is it the atmosphere or the environment where the box is made? Is there some sort of an imprint?
Mhm.
Do you know, while making the box? Do you know?
Yeah.
Or in transit.
Yeah. Do you know? And the at first Ed was only coming out on the RTC boxes. And then gradually, when I started using other radios, it gradually came through on the other radios. It's been kind of
Could that be as well? There's another alternative here, which is another thing I'm going to talk about tomorrow. Could it be that as your belief in Ed has grown, your mind is generating Ed? That you are mentally projecting Ed into the box?
Like the Philip experiment.
Yes.
Recently, I done a recording and I says, "Where did Ed come from?" And then it just, what do you call it, straight away went, "You," like that.
Yeah.
Oh, now that's telling.
See, because that would be absolutely amazing if there is a crossover in part between ITC and mental telepathy. That would be absolutely amazing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, they do say that the operator is important.
Yeah.
You know, how
and I ain't saying all communication is, but what if some of what we get is actually us projecting it into the box? That would be amazing in itself.
Yeah.
That is a big question. Right across the paranormal.
Are they expensive? No, not in comparison to other commercial boxes. What we're talking about, £140.
That's only about 50 quid more than a PSP 7.
Yeah, and then you add transport. Now, if you live in the US or whatever, it's going to be cheaper. Cheaper the post and stuff like that. But it's a reasonable price box. And the thing is, when it comes to custom boxes, the box that the person makes is something. It's their idea. Is it perfect? Are they perfect in every case? No. they're putting their idea into something and giving it to you. You know, although there is some people out there and they're in it for the money and they sell all sorts of rubbish. I've been there. I've done that. You know, just find somebody that's trustworthy and knows what they're doing, because you could end up with a box that is just thrown together and glue everywhere and
Yeah.
you know, there's loads of these boxes now with these adrenal circuits. I'm not a great fan of the adrenal circuits, as some of them are pretty noisy, you know, but there's some people that are pretty good at it. Rob's good at it. Steve Holt's very good at it. Steve Holt's been doing it for years, you know. Although I can't get anything from Holte over here, you know. I've messaged him and then
don't you know anybody in the States who could get one for you and then send it to you?
Not directly, no. You know, that's the thing. Because there is somebody did alter a little radio, and it looks like an S box, but it actually is. It's quieter. It's manageable. You know, the S box is it's saturated with white noise and stuff like that. This one is pretty good.
That's another one that's US only, isn't it? Because I wanted to get one of them.
It's tiny and it's got a linear and random sweep, which is I think is absolutely fantastic in a small little radio. Do you know? But doesn't post to this side of the world, unfortunately. It looks like an S box, except for it's all black. But it's got the random sweep, and it's controlled with you know, the less static. The S box messed up big time there. I think what they done with that, what I think is they done was they rushed it out one year to get it out to the Christmas market and that. But there was all these empty sort of promises that, you know, in time we can build this box with updated software and stuff. The software never came. Never came. So I bought this with the prospect that this box could be improved. Unfortunately, they didn't deliver what they said they were going to do. You know, there was never updates. I don't know if there's updates. I even stopped looking. Do you know?
As far as I know, I don't think there is, because I've got one and I've stopped using mine because it's not for me. I just don't like it.
The concept was great.
Yeah, it was.
It's just the noise factor was way just too much, you know.
Yeah.
And I'd like to see in future, if there is going to be a new PSP7, that they improve on noise, because you know a lot of people bought PSP7s for some reason. I think it's got something to do with Ghost Adventures, but I would like to see it progress to more manageable noise. You know?
See, removing that pseudo white noise is really easy for them. It is basically just a piece of the electronics on the board that generates it. All they have to do is remove that, and it's gone.
I think
it's not like it's a big modification they'll have to do it.
Yeah, quality is a bit of a factor, because a lot of them only they start burning out after a couple of years. That's the thing.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
You know, build quality isn't the finest, if you know what I mean. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, what a lot of people don't realise with the Roberts is the circuit board in the Roberts was actually purchased by Radio Shack as well. So a lot of the Radio Shacks are actually Roberts radios, just rebranded to Radio Shack.
Philip was there. Tesco radio better. This here is £13. To me, is one of the best manuals that you can get. It's really quiet, you know, and you got a good turning circle with it like that, and you can hold it like this and just do this.
Yeah.
See, and you've got great control.
Yeah, I ain't a big fan of manual tuning because I think there's too much human
human influence comes into manual tuning, but that's just a personal thing. Some people are good with it, some ain't. For
It's
me, I
like
think, it's instinct to pause as soon as you hear something for that briefest of seconds, whereas the manual there's no bias on it. But that's just a personal thing with me.
It's like you have to tune yourself to it. You know, you have to sort of get used, and every radio is different. You know, I had the £5 Tesco radio, but I just felt my thumb was getting sore after a while, and I just found that this one is actually quite quiet. There is another one actually. There is another one similar to it, and it's actually easy. It's a little bit. There's a little bit more static to it, but I got this idea from other people actually. Other people are using it. And what's it called? There's a serial number on. It's this one here. It's
Oh, wow.
GREADIO, and it's an R916. So the brand name is GREADIO, Gradio, and the serial number is R916. And you just hold it in your hand like that, and you just go like that.
Wow.
You know?
Yeah.
You can operate this in one hand.
Yeah.
You know? It's a little bit noisier than the other box I showed you, but this is a good manual little...
Mm-hmm.
And this is actually real wood at the front. You know? Nice. This one. This is pretty good. This one was about £20. About £20, you know. And then you have, let me see.
You had one in a really old video of yours, and it had like a winding handle on it. Do you remember that one?
Oh yeah, that one was influenced by a guy called Andrew. He was proving demons. Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So what's the one you got there?
The problem with that other radio is that the stations were very close together, and you had to move it. You have to be Texan PL 360.
Yep.
Little radio, and that's what I would love to see the PSP 7 to be. Good quality.
Yeah.
And with the tuning dial, you just hold it like this. You go like that. You don't get to the end of the scanner. You just keep turning it in one direction, and it just keeps going around. Rather than having a radio where it goes to the end of the frequency, and you have to go back the opposite way again.
Yeah.
You don't have to break rhythm. You just keep doing this. You know.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But I
used to add to your channel, Sam, is product testing, so that people can know what.
She has done quite a lot of them. She needs to start doing them again.
Yeah.
I used to love watching her product videos.
Yeah. I do too.
Yeah, I have a lot still to talk about because of binoculars that I never properly reviewed or anything like that. You know.
Yeah, but that's for your dogging channel, Sam, not your paranormal one.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, like you know, if you want to use the Tesco radio is £5. If you can tune yourself to use that, you know, and all radios they behave in a different way. Some of them have a bit of noise, some of them don't. So you know, it's good to sort of play around with that and what's comfortable for you. You know, what's comfortable for you. You know, there's. You know, I'd like to see more of the manual stuff coming back. You know, that was done before Frank Sumption came up with the scan method and stuff like that. You know,
my hoodie's been dispatched.
Ooh,
Yeah, very good design, them hoodies and stuff, and the
Yeah.
t-shirt. Yeah, very good.
Mhm.
You know.
Yeah, seeing you with all these different radios and that, I have to remember to ask my dad, but he had this little radio and it was a dial one. And I thought even maybe something like that I could get and just fool around with it one day and see, you know, what it does so that I can kind of learn more about other radios as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and the thing is, a
Mm.
lot of people say I'd love to get into ITC, but I can't afford a PSP7. You don't need a PSP7 if you've got a
No.
radio with a dial on the side, and if you know if you're comfortable using it, you know, it's maybe start at that point. Do some manual
Yep.
stuff before you commit to buying a spurt box. You know.
Mhm.
But
Exactly.
I think personally myself, I would rather go for Roberts than PSP7.
Mhm.
You know, I
Yeah.
find the Roberts are very, very clean radios. I don't know if you can get them in Australia and that, but they're really good.
Jackie
Not-
wants to know, Sam, if there's any
not that I know of.
differences between your two RTC boxes.
There is actually the scan. Do you know the variable scan? I think the variable scan is actually a little bit better in the first box I got. I think that's the main difference. That's the main difference. And you kind of get, and the other side of it is I like the direct response mode on the second box. So there's a difference in characteristics between the two of them, and there will be because they're handmade. You know, they're not mass produced or anything like that. They're handmade by the one person.
Yeah.
And you will get some of these little characteristics, and that you'll pick up in the audio between one box and another. Do you know?
Yeah.
Joanne says, I've got my uncle's old radio. It's a Bambi something or other. It's blue and white, but really old and manual. Shouldn't it be brown and spotted?
Oh my God, Brett.
It should be brown and spotted and lacking a mother.
Oh, it's just more of a
Oh, poor Bambi.
Yeah.
Like living that grief all over again.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I have actually Valve radios, but I do a bit of work with shortwave as well. You know, I'm
Yeah.
trying to get back into direct radio voices. It takes patience. You know, it's not as forthcoming as scan frequencies. You know, it's not as
Go on, sorry, Sam.
It's not as clear cut. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this is why I hate doing EVP work, because it ain't actually doing it; it's the reviewing it after it just goes on and on and on and on.
yeah. It's a long
Yeah.
process.
It's hard work doing EVP stuff.
Yeah, you know, you have to be sort of committed to it, and if you're reviewing for a long time, you kind of have to take a break every 10 or 15 minutes. Otherwise, you just end up with a headache. You know.
Yeah. And you miss things too.
Oh yeah. Annabella Cardoso says, you know, if you do your EVP, so you do your direct radio voice recordings and that, leave it afterwards and review it the next day. Because you've already listened to it, your ears has already been saturated with noise.
Yep.
Give yourself a break, review it the next day when you've got fresh ears, you know, and fresh, you know, which is a kind of a good idea, rather than working long hours here and just static and that. And some statics will actually give you a headache after 10 or 15
Sorry,
minutes.
this t-shirt smells of vinegar. I keep smelling vinegar.
I knew it was coming to you.
I've been sitting here, I keep thinking, I can smell vinegar.
Mushroom chop.
Yep.
Sorry.
Jeez.
Oh God.
Fish and chips. Boom.
Fish and chops.
Yeah. I've been meaning to ask you, Sam, what are your thoughts? Yeah. Sorry, I was just reading something in the chat. My apologies. On investigators that use baby monitors.
I actually used the first piece of equipment. One of the first pieces of equipment I had was baby monitors and that. Do you know, it's a kind of a if you got one around the house that you're not using and that, you know, go for it. But the one that I had a, you know, the visual and the audio and that, and it was night vision. The night vision was second to none. I mean, like, you could be in a completely pitch black room and it would show every little detail. Now, it wasn't the green night vision and that. It was the grayscale and that. But the night vision was absolutely fantastic on it. The only thing is, the device where the little TV screen was, it didn't actually record the visuals or the audio and stuff like that. So you had to have a camera on front of it. And when you're recording a screen, the video camera can pick up that screen in a different way than it actually is. Do you know the way it just, you know, and that. But, you know, people have picked up stuff. Ordinary people, not paranormal investigators, have picked up audio on some of them things, you know?
Yes.
You know, the other way of doing it is if you can tune into the frequency of the baby monitor on a amateur radio that you can, you know, scan the frequency, find out what the frequency is.
The comments.
Someone had fish chips and vinegar on it before posting it to your bread.
Yeah, and Joanne said, "You want sauce with that shirt, Brett?"
Yeah.
Honestly, it smells of vinegar. It's got a really strong smell of vinegar to it. I kept sitting here going, I can smell vinegar.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to wash it for tomorrow.
Yeah.
With the baby monitors, the reason why people started using baby monitors is because ordinary people, you know, keeping an eye on their kids, were getting weird stuff coming through. The problem is some radio equipment can interfere with it, because you can actually tune into a baby monitor and listen to it. And actually see the visuals. It's
taxi. Believe it or not, taxi radios are one of the biggest offenders of that. Baby monitors can pick up snatches from taxi radios if a taxi's coming past your house and they're on the radio at the time.
Yeah.
See, my sister, she's got one of these new Fandangle ones for her little girl, and nowadays, the night vision screens on them, you can look at it on your phone and that, and record the screens. They're really good. Yeah.
It's a bit like them cameras that you talk to your pet. You know, you're at work and you, hello.
Yeah.
See, I can do that with Alexa. You can tap into Alexa and talk to the dogs through it from upstairs, from the one upstairs, and I can do it on my phone as well.
Alexa,
is there a ghost near Brett?
Alexa, is there a ghost in the house?
Here's something I found from WikiHow. The best way to find ghosts in your house is by using cameras and recorders to get evidence of visual or audio abnormalities. Try having a seance or contacting your ghosts via Ouija board to learn more about their presence and politely ask them to leave your home.
Alexa, stop. Did you hear the advice she gave me?
No, I missed the middle.
Video recorder and gather evidence.
She says, either hold a seance or use a Ouija board and politely tell them to leave.
Oh my God! What about remember the last time where she was scanning for ghosts through your house?
Yeah.
Alexa, scan for ghosts.
don't know that, but you have ghost detector enabled. Do you want to open
Oh.
it?
Yes.
If you listen carefully, you might be able to hear a level 5 optimistic ghost in the area. It is worth 92 ghost backs. You have detected one optimistic ghost.
Thank you, Alexa.
What's a level 5 ghost?
A level 5 optimistic ghost, apparently.
Fuck's sake.
It's optimistic.
What's it
Well, that's-
optimistic about? It's dead.
What's a level 5, Alexa?
She can't
Oh,
hear because I've
God.
got the headphones in. Perhaps
Level 5.
it's optimistic it's about to be reincarnated.
Reincarnated, yes. Yes. Oh,
Kanga's just raised a good point. 20 years ago, people would have thought that box was possessed.
Yeah,
I know, yeah.
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 That's extraordinary how technology's just.
She has actually started doing that thing where she just starts telling me things again randomly. She did it when I was talking to you the other day, didn't she? And I had to tell her to shut up, Julie.
Yeah.
She
Out
just,
of nowhere.
just randomly starts talking and telling you complete garbage, and you have to tell her to shut up.
Hmm.
That doesn't sit right with me.
The worst one was when she kept cackling. You'd just be sitting and she'd just suddenly start laughing for absolutely no reason whatsoever. And Amazon had to put a patch out to stop her doing it because she was frightening people. She'd just do this really evil cackling laugh for absolutely no. She did it to me about 4 or 5 times.
No.
Just yours or other people's?
Everybody.
General?
Yeah, they
No.
had to literally put a patch out to stop her laughing.
No.
No.
No way.
Yeah.
No.
I think that's what they're
I'd
doing.
have-
Kanga, they are whispering to her.
In the bin.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
have pulled out a shotgun and gone.
Out
Yeah.
the window. Out the window.
And yet the one upstairs, the one I've got upstairs never does it, but this one down here does it all the while. She'll just suddenly start rattling off complete crap about the definition of something I ain't even asked about.
Oh
And she'll just
my
start giving you
God.
random information about things.
Maybe you
Would have
should
been out on the
note,
verge, free to good home.
Yeah.
take note of what she starts talking about when she
Yeah, I
does
will
it.
do.
Yeah.
The one night that she started telling me about some species of cricket for some strange reason. Totally random. That's the one that was really memorable. She started telling me about this species of cricket.
Okay. Maybe she's giving you the cure for like cancer or
Possibly.
something, you know.
Now, Jackie, she's just told me I've got a level 5 optimistic ghost in the house.
Mm.
Whatever a level 5 is.
It's very optimistic.
Not
So we
optimistic
know it's
about
not a
that.
Desmond.
Yeah.
Desmond.
We've been going 2 hours now.
You kidding?
Yeah. I think we'll start winding down if that's okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's fine.
sure.
I didn't realise we've been going that
You know,
long.
Whatever
you
you
know
want.
what? I really appreciate everybody that's come on and that, and thank you very much for letting us waste your time. This was brilliant.
Thank you for
Wait.
having
It's a
us.
waste of time. Anytime.
You can have me
Get the
anytime you
band back
want.
together.
Stan.
Yep.
That was fun. That was
Absolutely.
fun.
I'm here
Do you know-
anytime.
And we had no plans whatsoever. There's nothing wrote down. Let's talk about this. You know.
Yep. Nope.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Chatting it out.
Great.
I
have-
always find they're the best streams when you just run with what everybody's talking about in the panel or in the chat. That's what I'm
Yeah.
doing
Yeah.
tomorrow on my stream. I'm just doing a general stream so that people can talk about whatever paranormal topic they want. So be prepared for it to jump to anything tomorrow night. It could be
Yeah.
anything paranormal.
See, the thing is too, we often communicate with each other, but it's text messages and you're typing away and stuff like that. It's just nice to have the one-to-one and talk,
Yeah. Face to
Yeah.
face like this.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And we don't have to get all sciencey all the time and always serious
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Life is for fun, folks. Do you know what I mean? Have a laugh.
Yep.
Yes, it is.
Absolutely.
Yes, it is.
But we
I've
are
just told you
really-
to have a good day at work, Sam. I actually meant to put Tara. Tara said she just got to work, and I put "Have a good day at work, Sam," and then I had to put sorry, Tara, not Sam.
I've just seen that.
Brett
I'm
does
losing
not
it.
wish me a good day. Brett does not wish me a good day at work today. That's
I
okay,
need more
Brett. I'll
coffee.
remember. That's why. That's one of the reasons why I have to finish. I'm transparent. I can't find my next box of cigarettes, and I need a copy. But folks, really appreciate everybody that's come on. Really appreciate Julie, Deb, and Brett for coming on, and you know, and them pushing me to get out and do a live, because my
Finally.
confidence. My confidence actually dropped big time. I actually hadn't been on camera for ages either. Do you know? So
Mhm.
sometimes you have to take those steps in life, folks.
Yep.
You may not feel comfortable about it, but that is part of your growth. And
Absolutely.
I really appreciate them for pushing me to do this.
You're
But
welcome.
you still had to do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
All we
You know?
did was open the door. You walked through it, darling.
Yep.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and don't mind about what other people. Sometimes other people can say nasty things and stuff like that. Just don't respond to them. Just don't respond to them. Do your
No.
own thing. Don't get
Exactly.
flustered by other people. If other people have issues, that's leave it with them. Leave it with
Yep.
them, and enjoy your own thing.
Mhm.
If you're on YouTube, you've come on YouTube for a specific purpose. Focus on that and enjoy it. That's the main thing. Enjoy what you're doing. Enjoy your community, your friends around you, and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And that's the good thing about YouTube. YouTube can bring people together, like us today.
Absolutely.
And we've
So
covered some good topics and had a good laugh at the same time.
Yeah,
oh
we
yeah,
always have fun.
yes. What do you call it? I'm going to watch some sippy funny videos after
Yeah.
this.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you know? So, folks, thank you very much, and really appreciate everybody that's come on. And see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
See you later.
Are we off?
Nope.
No.
No, we're still here. Bye.
Like,
Sticking like glue.
Oh, will you? My computer has.
It's the computer.
Oh, I just pressed not yet. Actually, hold on a second. Yeah, end.